the scorching sun of Calandra Plains, two tiny rabbits stood face to face with a lioness. They didn't flee, they only quivered, their small paws pressed together as though pleading with the ruler of the wild for mercy. The air fell silent, even the cicadas seemed to pause. Earlier that morning, the young rabbits, hardly old enough to stray from their burrow, had been searching for water along the edge of a dried-up stream. Their soft grey and white fur was dust-covered, their eyes wide with thirst and fear. Then, a faint, broken cry reached them from a nearby thicket. Carefully pushing through the brittle grass, they discovered a young fawn trapped beneath a fallen branch. The limb was thick and heavy, pinning its delicate leg to the ground. The fawn's breathing was shallow, its body trembling. The rabbits tried to help, scraping at the dirt with their tiny paws, gnawing at the wood, but they were far too small. The sun climbed higher, heat waves shimmered, and the fawn began to weaken. Then, the ground seemed to shift. From beyond the grass, a shadow appeared. Massive, silent, golden. A lioness stepped into the clearing. The rabbits froze, hearts racing. Every instinct told them to hide, yet the faint cry of the fawn held them in place. One rabbit slowly rose onto its hind legs, pressing its front paws together, shaking like a leaf. The other awkwardly copied the motion, mimicking the gesture of prayer it had once seen near the range's outpost. The lioness paused. Dust swirled softly around her pores, her amber eyes fixed on the tiny figures before her. Prey so small they wouldn't even satisfy her hunger, yet something in their gaze kept her still. Another weak cry drifted from behind them, soft and fading. The rabbits turned, then looked back at her as if to say, "Please, come with us." The lioness lowered her head and moved forward. Each step sank deep into the cracked earth. The scent of fear, milk, and blood lingered in the air. She reached the thicket and looked down. The fawn lay trapped, trembling, and helpless. For a long moment she remained completely still. Then, taking a slow breath, she stretched out one powerful paw. The branch shifted, creaked, and rolled aside. The fawn flinched, then gasped as its leg was freed. The lioness watched as it struggled to stand, her expression unreadable, her tail flicking once in the dust. The two rabbits hopped closer, gently nudging the fawn's face. One of them turned again toward the lioness, rising upright, tiny paws folded as if in gratitude. The lioness's ears flicked. She lowered her head until her muzzle lightly touched the fawn's back, a quiet, gentle gesture. Then she turned and walked away. No roar, no chase, only the soft whisper of grass parting around her. Her golden figure faded into the horizon, leaving behind deep paw prints, a sign of strength choosing compassion. Hours later, Ranger Evelyn Hart from the Calandra Wildlife Reserve followed those tracks while inspecting the water wells. When she reached the clearing, she stopped in disbelief. A freed fawn rested beside two small rabbits, the three of them huddled together in the fading heat. Around them, the lioness's tracks curved away toward the open plains. Evelyn knelt, tracing a paw print with her fingers. "You spared them," she murmured. "You understood." Weeks later, beneath the soft glow of dawn, the fawn limped gently through the grass near a small pond, the two rabbits hopping playfully around it. Life had returned to the place where death once lingered, and somewhere beyond the ridge, unseen, a lioness lifted her head toward the rising sun, watching briefly before disappearing back into the wild. Because sometimes, even the fiercest hearts soften before innocence, and sometimes, mercy speaks louder than strength.